the wind is gone and I shall begin. Hey, hi, hello, it's RebeccaMarie and welcome to or back to my channel. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, this is a how to use Trade Me video. A lot of you ask me how I get my clothes for so cheap, why I use Trade Me, how I use Trade Me, what the tips and tricks are, and I try to explain them to everybody, but I feel like I just don't explain it well enough. So here it is in a video, the tips and tricks and the basics for buying on Trade Me. If you guys are interested, I can do a selling version of this in the future, but right now this is focused on buying and getting yourself the best deals as possible. Just a quick disclaimer before we begin. When you buy and sell something on Trade Me, you are legally doing a contract, so you need to go through with it. However, sometimes people aren't this good-hearted and there is a risk that your sale will not be guaranteed. This has never happened to me and I use Trade Me almost every day. I had one bad experience where I was sent the wrong item, but I was able to return it and get a refund. However, I've heard from my friends where items just haven't arrived or so I recommend you always pay for tracking, but it is a bit of a risk. You just got to remember that you are helping the planet. You're slowing down the cycle of fast fashion. You can get some unique items and you're paying much smaller price. So the smaller price is kind of the risk that you get from buying from these, but it's definitely worth the risk in my opinion. So yeah, let's get on with the video. So I'm gonna film this like I did with my what's on my iPhone video, where I'm gonna do a little bit of a screen recording and put it to the right hand side of the screen here. Oh, is this the left for you guys? The left hand side of the screen. And yeah, let's just get into it. So when you have the app, you just sign up and make an account. Super easy, but definitely the first step. You can search on Trade Me without making an account, but it's definitely better to make one because then you can save items to your watch list and it's easier to access them. And I'm pretty sure you need an account to actually go through with the sale, so I definitely recommend setting up the account first. And then when you go in, you have your profile with like all of the things for buying, all of the things for selling. So let's focus on the ones for buying. Your watch list is items that you're interested in and it keeps them all there for you so you can watch them, you know when they're gonna end. Your favorites, this is searches that you can save, things that you might wanna things you might wanna click on quickly. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Fixed price offers is when you miss out on an auction and somebody offers something to you for a cheaper amount. So you can buy it there or you can just leave it, decline it, do whatever you want with it. These expire after a certain amount of days. You have your cart. This is if you're buying anything from like a store on Trade Me. If it appears in your cart, you kind of know that these aren't a secondhand seller. These are people who kind of have stock. It's like an actual store that's selling through the app. So that's just a way to check if it's sustainable or not. If you're really going for that secondhand vibe, then you shouldn't be looking for things that are going to end up in your cart. Then you have won and lost. And so these are just auctions that you've won or lost. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure anybody can figure out how to use the actual app. You go into the search bar, you go into the search, and you type in what you're looking for. And this is where my first tips and trick comes in. I would say you need to know your keywords. So when people are listing things, they might not list it under what it actually is or what you would know it as. So if you're really looking for a specific item, you should be searching around that keyword. So when I was looking for silky midi skirts, I would call it a silky midi, but other people could call it a satin skirt, a satin midi, a midi skirt, a silky, a silk skirt, a silk long skirt, a glass-in silk skirt, like things like that. So if you put the code word in, it'll find different listings. Sometimes people spell the brand name wrong, some people do different things. So sometimes, if you really want an item, you kind of need to think about what people could be listing it as and search through those different things if you're really desperate to find an item. It can take a little while, and obviously people are listing things every day. So if there's something you really want and you don't want to buy it in the store, I recommend coming back and checking every day and you will find it eventually. So let's just go straight into it and let's go with a basic brand like Glassons. So you just type it into the search bar. And when we're typing it in, it has the option to search in women's fashion, but I'm just gonna search everywhere because sometimes you get things that weren't listed in the right category by doing it like this. So firstly, if you are new to Trade Me and you're just trying to find some good bargain pieces and you're not planning to look at it every single day, you wanna change this filter here to lowest price. And you can scroll through all of these and figure out what you'd like to buy. And then if you'd like to sort it even more, we can refine it into the color, the size, all these sort of things to make it perfect for you and find the items that you want. And if you do want to sort through the listings, it put me straight into women's fashion. I think I might have clicked it before. But you can sort through it in the different categories. So this is a really good way to find a specific item you're looking for, or maybe you need like a white top and a white skirt for like a themed party or something like that. This is a good way to do that. So remember your keywords and remember your refining and your categories when you're searching. If it's something that you want to come back and look at every day, you can click the little heart with the plus button in the top right corner. Maybe click don't email me because you'll get a lot of emails. And this way you can come back to that search every day and it's ready for you and it's there, and it means you don't actually have to manually do it yourself. That was all pretty self-explanatory, so now you know how to look for things. What about actually buying the product? Let's go into my watch list and I will have a look there and tell you how it goes. So when you go to buy something, it can either just have the bid price or it can have a buy now as well. So for this top here, it's got a buy now and a bidding price. I always recommend that if it's something you don't desperately want, just bid for it because you can save a couple dollars. And if you know it's going to be something that's really popular, something really in right now or in the store and has a lot of watches down the bottom, then just buy it on the buy now because it will end up going above the buy now price. So it depends how much you're willing to spend. If it's something you really want and I'm happy spending this $7, I'd be like, okay, yep, let's do it. But I'm probably not even going to buy this, so it's just sitting in my watch list just waiting. When you're looking at an item, and especially if it's clothing, it tells you the details, and usually there's a description. Usually they'd say the quality or something like that. At the bottom, it also gives you other ideas of things that you may like based on that, which is really helpful, and those are usually in your size because it's picked up on that. If it's an item that doesn't have a buy now, you obviously have to bid on it. When you're bidding, I recommend that you wait until the last couple of minutes to place your bid, because otherwise you get into a bidding war ahead of the time it closes and you end up just fighting with somebody days before it's over and wasting the money that you could have just done in the last minute. If you do it in the last minute, somebody might forget that they wanted to bid on it and you end up winning automatically at a lower price. If you think the price is too steep on an item, you can always leave a comment in the questions and answers section on the page. You can say, hey, would you be willing to lower the price? Or, hey, would you do combined shipping with this other item and then it would make it cheaper through the shipping? Or you could say, hey, if I did the buy now, would you include free shipping? Something like that. When you're commenting in these boxes, make sure you're being super polite, because if you do win, you want the seller to leave you a positive review. So it's about you and about them. If you had bad reviews, people won't sell to you. And if you have good reviews, people will love doing trades with you and it will make everything easier. Okay, so that's about buying, but what about once you've actually bought the item? When you've bought the item, usually there's a couple of different shipping options and you can choose to have it tracked or non-tracked, and you obviously have to pay rural if you're rural. So I would always suggest that you pay that extra $1 for the tracking. If they're not including tracking, always go for tracking and pay an extra $1 and ask them to get you tracking if they aren't getting tracking. This is because the buyer is not responsible if they post it and you don't receive it, so you can leave them a bad review, but they may have already sent it and then you are damaging their reputation because you didn't want to pay that extra $1. This way you know it's safe, it's been sent to you, you can blame NZ Post and not the seller. Yeah, so that is definitely a big tip, is always pay the tracking. It's an extra $1 and you know you're going to get it safely. Okay, so after you've actually bought it, you get to choose your address, your shipping, and you get given the seller's payment details. So when you win something, it shows up in your one, and then you go in here and it will have payment, delivery, and feedback. It's the 3 steps that you have to complete after you've done the trade. So the payment, you click in there and it gives you the seller's payment details, and it also tells you how much you owe them for shipping and for the actual item and how much it costs in total. Pretty simple, and it all pops up in there. If it doesn't pop up in there, they should email you within a day or 2 with their bank account details, and if they don't, just flick them an email and be like, hey, I won your auction, haven't received your payment details yet, flick them through and I'll pay ASAP. Then once you've paid, I recommend you take a screenshot of the proof of payment and you email it through to them and say, thank you, hey, I'm super excited to receive this. I've made payment now and my address is sent on TradeMe. This way you're making that communication with them. They might leave a good feedback because you're really onto it, and paying as soon as possible is also super important for getting that good review. Then the step after payment is delivery. So you need to make sure you've sent this. Sometimes it sends automatically if you do a buy now, or if you've already clicked it when you're buying it. It sort of varies for different products. But if you click on delivery, it gives you the options of your different addresses you have logged into the app, and you can just click it, send it off, and they get sent that in an email, and they also get it via their app as well. And then after it's all gone through, you can click on feedback and you can give them a happy face, a little face, or a sad face, and you just give a reason for this. You can only change your feedback once. So if you're super unhappy with it, put in a negative face, and then if it changes and it goes better, you can either change it to the flat or the happy face. Don't go to negative if you haven't given them enough time to respond and fix the issue, because then you can never make it a happy face, which sucks for the seller because they may have not replied in enough time, or they may have just been getting around to fixing it, and you've already changed it once, so now you can only leave them on a for face or a sad face. So yeah, just think about that when you're leaving feedback. Make sure you try and communicate with them. One negative review is good, and then it will get their attention, they'll reply to your emails, then you have the opportunity to change it if they respond well to the scenario. Okay, so I think that's most of the basics and a couple tips and tricks in there, and I thought I'd just touch on a couple of other things that you may want to remember when you are buying things. Ask questions if you are unsure about the condition or want to know measurements. People are usually more than happy to help. Make sure you ask them politely because it builds good relationships with these people. 2, remember that this is somebody trying to make some money, and they may not be doing it for a business, but a couple of people on TradeMe do it as a little side hustle like myself. So try not to be disrespectful and completely lowball them, but also do remember that if you don't think it's worth what they're selling, it's worth asking a question. If you don't ask a question, you don't get what you want, and it could stay the same, or you could get a way better price. Always be ready to negotiate. If you say a lower price and they say higher, then just negotiate with them and just settle on something that you think is fair for them, but also a good deal for you. You don't have to buy it, and you can wait until there's something else. Leading on from that, my third point is that if you can't find something right now, it will come on in the next couple of weeks or couple of months. Whatever's in the store right now, especially for shops like Glassons, will come onto the store as people won't want it because fast fashion is so quick. It sucks that that's how it is, but it's kind of great for you if you're going to take the time to use TradeMe because you get these great deals. Number 4, combine shipping. When you find something cute from a seller, go and look through their other listings, because if you can find something else that you really like, you can get the shipping for like an extra $1 of the shipping cost, because they just have to upgrade the size of the bag, or it can even fit into the same bag, which then splits the shipping in half and you're getting the same items. Yeah. On terms of that as well, remember to check how much the shipping is. Sometimes people charge way too much or guess how much shipping should be, and if you know it's going to be cheaper than that, you can leave a question and be like, could you post this in a $4.50 bag? Can you post this in a $5 bag? And they might say, no, sorry, I'm using a courier service, in which case you can just let it be. Or they might say, yeah, of course, the shipping can be reduced, in which case it makes your item more affordable and it makes it better for you.
I'm just editing this now, and I've realized that I forgot to say that you can not only do this on your phone, you can also do it on your laptop as well if you'd like a bigger screen. All of the settings that I've explained in this video will be available online as well. They'll just be in slightly different places. But yeah, you can definitely do it on your laptop if you don't want to do it on your phone.
So yeah, combined shipping. I think I might have covered most of the important things there. If I think of anything else, I will leave a comment down below in the question box. If you have any more questions, please let me know. And yeah, I hope this helps you guys to find some cute clothes that are at a cheaper price. But yeah, enjoy TradeMe, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!